A case that seemed settled took a shocking turn, revealing a detail everyone missed. The legal world is no stranger to drama, but some cases unfold with twists that leave everyone stunned. Today, we delve into a high-profile trial that captivated public attention, a trial where the perceived narrative was about to be shattered. You think you know the story, but there's one crucial detail you haven't noticed yet. This is the d4vd case, where the tides of justice dramatically turned. The courtroom was a stage, and every player had a role. The prosecution presented its case, confident in the evidence laid out. The defense, however, was preparing a counter-narrative, one that would hinge on a subtle yet significant oversight. We've seen countless trials, but this one was different. Was the initial judgment a foregone conclusion, or was there always a shadow of doubt lurking beneath the surface? As the proceedings continued, a new piece of information emerged, something that had been overlooked or perhaps intentionally ignored. This wasn't just about legal strategy, it was about the fundamental principles of justice. How could such a critical element escape everyone's attention? The implications were immense, potentially reshaping the entire understanding of the events. The defense team began to meticulously unravel the prosecution's narrative, highlighting inconsistencies and questioning established timelines. Each revelation added a layer of complexity, making the jury reconsider their initial assumptions. What appeared to be a straightforward case was rapidly transforming into something far more intricate. Was this a case of negligence, or was there a more deliberate attempt to obscure the truth? The key to unlocking the truth lay in a detail that seemed insignificant at first glance. It was the kind of detail that, when magnified, casts a completely new light on the entire situation. This wasn't just about proving innocence or guilt, it was about uncovering a hidden truth that had been buried. The public watched, on the edge of their seats, as the narrative began to shift. The final arguments were delivered, not with bombast, but with a quiet certainty. The overlooked detail, now central to the case, had the power to sway the verdict. It was a stark reminder that in the pursuit of justice, no stone can be left unturned, and no detail is too small to matter. The outcome would serve as a powerful lesson for future legal battles. The first layer is context. Every documentary story begins before the moment people remember. There is a setting, a chain of decisions, and a public reaction that shapes how the event is understood. In the case of d4vd court case, the important thing is not only what happened, but why the surrounding details made people pay attention. That is where the story begins to move from a simple summary into something more useful. It asks us to look at timing, location, pressure, and the way one moment can represent a much larger pattern. The second layer is what people often misunderstand. A single image or short clip can feel complete, but it usually leaves out the forces around it. Viewers see the result, not the build-up. They see the most dramatic frame, not the quiet details that made it possible. That gap matters because it changes the meaning of the story. When we examine d4vd court case carefully, we are not just asking what is visible. We are asking what is missing from the first impression. Then comes the turning point. This is where the story stops being only about one scene and starts pointing to a bigger question. Why did this particular moment stand out? Why did people share it, debate it, or return to it later? The answer is usually not one simple fact. It is a combination of emotion, uncertainty, and recognition. People respond when a story feels specific, but also familiar enough to connect to something they already care about. Another important detail is the human tendency to look for a clean conclusion. We want a final answer, a clear lesson, and a single explanation that ties every loose end together. But strong documentary stories often resist that. They leave us with evidence, competing interpretations, and a reminder that public understanding is always incomplete. That does not make the story weaker. It makes it more honest. So what value can we take from d4vd court case? The value is not just the event itself. It is the pattern around it. It shows how quickly attention forms, how easily context disappears, and how important it is to ask better questions before accepting the easiest version of a story. That is why stories like this continue to matter after the first wave of attention fades. In the end, d4vd court case remains worth examining because it sits between fact and interpretation. We can see enough to understand why it matters, but not always enough to close the case completely. And that open space is where documentary storytelling becomes powerful. It does not tell us what to think. It gives us a clearer way to look. In the end, the d4vd case became a testament to the complexities of the legal system and the importance of meticulous examination. The overlooked detail wasn't just a legal footnote, it was the key that unlocked a new understanding. It reminds us that truth often hides in plain sight, waiting to be discovered. If you're fascinated by the hidden stories behind major events, subscribe for more deep dives into the cases that shape our world.